Hello guys and welcome. As you can probably all tell by the title of the video, and it's probably worldwide news at this point anyway, and that is that obviously this man on your screen right here, Erik Ten Hag, has officially been sacked by Manchester United. Happened, I think it was roughly around about 1 o'clock my time, which is obviously the UK. It was coming. It's been coming now for well over a year. In my opinion, I am obviously a Manchester United fan. I have stated that before, and it's been coming. I mean, he was lucky to keep his job last season. Very lucky. Obviously, Sergeant Ratcliffe has come in, and he said he's going to leave it all up to the board. He wasn't going to get involved in Erik Ten Hag being sacked, and it's finally happened. I mean, it had to. I mean, I was reading something earlier, but 1 of the last 8 games in all competitions we've won. It's not good enough. We find ourselves 14th in the Premier League table in October. It's just gradually for Erik Ten Hag just got worse. He's brought players in the summer who he thought was going to have an impact. People like Matthijs de Ligt, Mazraoui, Zirkzee. It's just not worked. For me, the only decent one who's done really much and put in any decent performances so far is Mazraoui. Zirkzee's come in, he scored a goal on his debut, and after that he's not done anything. And then you look at the other signings he's made, people like Anthony, £85 million for a player who, if Manchester United were to sell him now, we wouldn't even get 30 million for him. It's just not been good enough. Even Onana as well last season, shocking season. Martinez again, he's had some good games, but time out injured, poor performances. It's just not what Manchester United should be doing. So for me, it's about time. I've been thinking for a while he needs to go, and it's finally come to the point now where it just became impossible to keep him in the job. Okay, you could say the weekend result was a little unfortunate. Obviously the VAR decision for a penalty that, in my opinion, wasn't a penalty. But he's got no excuses for the other games. Porto to be 2-0 up, to lose the shocking game against Spurs. I mean, you could kind of see that the players are pretty much, as they say many times, when they gear up playing for a manager, they definitely gave up on him. And he must have known himself. I know he kept saying all the time in his press conferences, it's a process. I've got the backing of the board. And clearly he never had the backing of the board, because if he had the backing of the board, he'd still be in charge. It had to happen. It had to happen before Christmas. I've been saying it, I've been thinking it. It had to happen before Christmas. It had to go before Christmas. At some point, results just weren't improving. The squad just looks fresh out of ideas. Like, if, we're getting lucky draws. We were lucky against Porto. To be fair, we were lucky against Fenerbahce. They had far the better chances. And it's just not good enough. And, it's finally happened. He's finally lost his job. And, obviously now we'll have to search, which will move me on in a moment to my next little update in all this. Obviously, Ruud van Nistelrooy will take interim charge. We don't know how long that'll be for. With obviously the little bit of news I'm about to say in a moment, he might get 1 game in charge. He might not. Which now brings me on to the next bit of news, which has obviously been posted by people like Sky Sports, Fabrizio Romano as well. and that is that Manchester United are apparently ready to pay the release clause for Ruben Amorim. Obviously, he's quite a youngish manager. Obviously, manager of Sporting Lisbon at the moment, unbeaten this season, has been taunted by a lot of top clubs. West Ham wanted him at one point. Liverpool were even looking at him. He's even being taunted as a possible future Manchester City manager. Manchester United apparently are prepared to pay his release clause now. They own Erik ten Hag roughly around about 15 million. Obviously, if you remember, he signed a new contract in the summer. I think it was a 3-year deal. So they owe, in compensation, Erik ten Hag about 15 million. Ruben Amorim has obviously a release clause of about 10 million. So altogether, this could cost Manchester United 25 million in there, which I know kind of goes against the whole cutting back on, budgets and stuff like that, and then to have to fork out 15 million to a manager you've just sacked, and then pay 10 million potentially for another manager to come in, ain't really cutting out much budget at all. I mean, Ten Hag needed to go. That's obvious, but it's the paying of 10 million for another manager. Now, if they feel like he's the right man for the job, all well and good, get him in. He's obviously a well-respected manager, for teams like obviously West Ham, especially Liverpool, to be looking at him as well, while looking for Jurgen Klopp's successor, says a lot. So obviously he's got a great record at Sporting Lisbon. They're unbeaten so far this season. He's a young manager. He'll bring fresh ideas, and hopefully a tactical change, and bring exciting football back to Old Trafford, which is something that we have missed at Old Trafford. There's been no exciting football. You watch Manchester United now and it's like they don't have a game plan. It's like they just go out there, play the game and just see what happens. There's no real game plan. There's no real anything to the attack. The defending's all over the place. Hopefully you can bring a bit of organisation into those areas, which will obviously then, it brings you to what will happen with Ruud van Nistelrooy. Ten Hag bring him in the summer. Will Amorim want to bring his own staff, which means Van Nistelrooy and all the other staff could potentially lose their jobs as well. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end the video here. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Did you think it was time for Ten Hag to go? Did you think he deserved more time? What do you think will happen with Ruben Amorim? Let me know in the comments down below. If you did enjoy, obviously please do leave a like and please subscribe. Anyway, guys, I'll see you soon.